Let's get started.
It's time to drink
and draw.
Drinks
And draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, wake the kids, phone the neighbors.
drinks
And draw.
Give the folks a little sizzle. Sizzle?
Spetsy.
Quick.
Wow, you're pretty quick for a big guy.
Brought to you by
ComX.shop.
I believe I'm ready, but you just don't know.
I feel I'm ready.
Welcome to Drink and Draw Friday night. Fun for everyone. It's the fortnight that we're on, and it is episode 110, and we are doing Looney Tunes as our theme. And tonight we have a special episode because we have Nick Quick as our host. Woo! He's all dressed up for it. I love it.
That's right. I put a blazer on because I'm a host, and that's how it works. I hope you're watching, Betsy, and I hope you feel bad. Your t-shirt wearing so-and-so. Welcome to the show, everyone. I've been put in the hot seat. I'm actually really excited because I really love Looney Tunes. So to be just kind of hoodwinked into hosting for my first time on a show like Looney Tunes makes me very, very happy. But
Didn't you host it like 2 weeks ago or a month ago?
Yeah, that was like a half host. I pretty much changed the format of the show. You might remember because you were there. And that was its own thing. But now I'm trying to stick to the drink and draw. The wheels are in motion. I'm not going to derail it much this time. With that in mind, let's do a little whip around. We all know Sizzle. That's Sizzle. But let's welcome back to the show Lauren Marshall.
Yay.
Hola.
We've got Alex Motormouth Major. Mayor.
Nice. I like that.
He's simple but obscure, Nick May. Dave, who's on mute, Daffy Die. Welcome, Dave. Welcome back to the show. We can't hear you. There he is.
G'day.
Joining us first time is Nathan Judd, or Nacious, as he prefers to be called.
Hey guys, thank you.
And of course, Brash, gosh darn damn it, Daniels. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you. I'm expecting a lot of Yosemite Sam impressions from you tonight, Brad. Just given the nature of your facial hair and the energy you give to the show. Give us a little mic check there, Brad. No, can't hear you, my friend.
Oh, no.
I'm sure that was a spot-on impersonation, though. Moving forward.
Brad could do Marvin the Martian.
He's doing Coyote at the moment, and quite well. Here we are. We're drawing Looney Tunes. I'd like you all to start drawing now. Dave, pick up your pencil. Get into it.
All right.
Anyone at home, please draw the Looney Tunes. We're not looking for, well, do whatever you want, but don't feel confined to the strict art form that is the Looney Tune style. Bring your own interpretation to the characters. That's what we really want to see. That's what will make us smile. And we'll kick things off. I asked these guys to think about who their favorite character was from the Looney Tunes catalog. Lauren, did you get that note? Can I swing over to you immediately?
Oh, negative, but I already know the answer to this question.
Go on, give it to me.
It's Lola Bunny. My gosh,
Lola Bunny,
Babe
Nice.
Central, and yeah, Sass Central, which is good. And you all know that I like a little bit of a sassy gal. So yeah, that's my one. That's my choice.
When did Lola enter the scene? Like, I remember when she walked in on Space Jam, and it was like,
That
this
was it,
character.
Isn't she I think she is a Space Jam character.
Yeah,
Definitely. Was that a
No,
was that a
it's like,
that's not
it's
her
like
debut, though.
not a debut?
I'm pretty
Who
sure
knows?
it's a debut, but
That's what
there's
I'm
like this big thing on the internet and how because they've got Roger Rabbit and how he has a relationship with Jessica Rabbit, and then they're like, is Lola Rabbit their daughter? Because she's kind of like a mix between the two. Like, everyone's like,
I
oh,
like
get
that.
on this canon, it's good.
The
My
fans
God, you
can
found this
definitely-
on the internet?
Yeah,
What
it's just
else is
randomly
on
too.
this
I mean, I didn't
internet?
search it up.
Because
Theories.
this internet sounds like a reliable source.
Yeah. Reddit, yeah, you know.
The internet's really good for wild theories and sex stuff. Alex, in case you're
Sex stuff, you say, huh?
Yeah. That's mostly what it's known for. That and drinking and drawing on a Friday night. Alex Mayor,
yeah.
what's your favorite character of the Looney Tunes?
Well, speaking of sex stuff, Pepe Le Pew.
Daffy Duck.
Tell me why. I want to know all about why.
I don't know. I like his French accent. He's such a. It's like if French was a race, it would be probably racist. It'd be pretty offensive because I got the accents. It's assuming that they're all creeps, and I don't know. I always feel bad that he. I reckon if he found a girlfriend, he'd be normal and nice. And I just
like if he found the girlfriend after the episode, a few months in, he might be like a really good lover. He might be.
I don't know that. I reckon he'd be like an earner. He'd had a proper job and just take care of people because he's had that whole conquest thing going on. But also, I just feel bad because Mother Nature keeps fooling him because he's he wants to meet the right lady and she keeps giving him black cats with white paint on their back.
It's a classic formula. I mean,
and I don't know. I appreciate the fact that they never went they didn't try to spice it up with a different joke. It's always the same gag. It's always a black cat with a white stripe painted on it. And I appreciate a lack of creativity in an otherwise very creative show.
Oh, man, we're going to open that up a lot because I think when you've got such a basic premise, you can go more places. Yeah. And we can talk about new episodes of Looney Tunes and compare it to that. There's a big discussion there.
They don't exist. They're kind of the Looney Tunes stopped in the 70s. And then I think in the 80s when they were like, oh, we need to appeal to children. That's when they lost me as a customer.
Yeah, right. I can remember watching Looney Tunes in the 90s. It was like after school type thing, 4 o'clock. Some woman would introduce them to me. And they were like, I didn't know they were not recent. I didn't know they weren't just being pumped out immediately. There's only a few times where you're like, how come this episode feels more like a Charlie Chaplin something so-and-so? But otherwise, Looney Tunes are quite timeless, Well,
because they were not designed for kids. They were designed for the little shorts in front of the film. So you'd go to watch a normal adult, BGM film, and then they'd have newsreels and cartoons for comedy purposes. So those cartoons were not designed initially to be for kids and marketing. They were just for adults, It's like watching a stand-up comedy or something like that. So the original ones, like the old, like the 30s, 40s, 50s animations, they're not for kids. Even the Disney ones, not as much. If you look at the old classic Mickeys, like the black and white Mickeys, they're a little bit not that kiddie friendly. But the Looney Tunes were specifically more raunchy.
Yeah, for sure. I actually want to talk about Looney Tunes versus Mickey Mouse a bit later. So I'm going to come back to you, Alex Mayor. Nick May, tell me more about your favorite Looney Tune character and why.
I think so. It would be Wile E. Coyote if he actually ever won, and that just, even as a child, that really frustrated me. That all of his plans were foolproof, and it was just ridiculous things that would see him come undone. So I reckon maybe my favorite is Bugs Bunny because he never loses, and he's always cool, and he can change costumes really quickly. He tricks people. He just eats carrots all the time and lies in bed, and that's something that not the carrots, but the lying in bed I can relate to. So I think
he does pretty good drag as well.
It's good drag,
where he does the massaging on the head and stuff, and then he does drag on top of what is it, little fat unicorn looking thing.
Yep.
Classic.
You know what's funny about Bugs is he's probably for me the cartoon character. He's the guy, and he's gray. He's not even a color. He's just like this. He's not. No one ever says silver. He's just this bland gray bunny. But he's the guy. He's the best in my mind. You also mentioned Wile E. Coyote. If I was choosing like yourself, it'd be definitely out of those two. This actually hangs in my study. It's some fan art I bought online, but it's just one of the blueprints of a design.
Oh, cool.
So it just sits in my office at all times. A blueprint for a wacky invention. You may know this if you've read my comic about my dad. I have like a real fascination with the Wile E. Coyote cartoons and their director Chuck Jones, because they're so marvelous. They're so simple. They're all about comic timing. Like that's the sort of the main principle in a Looney Tune. When did you start watching Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons?
Well, obviously, I had a break from the 70s into the 80s where I wasn't allowed to watch TV. So I must have watched them before that. So maybe in the very early 70s, and then later catching up on what I missed out in the mid 80s, I guess. And I guess I checked out, I clocked out, whatever I did, around about Space Jam, the Michael Jordan one. I was like, yeah, I'm in my 20s or whatever, and I'm a bit too old for this now. So, yeah, I think from the 80s until whenever I turned 20, the 90s, yeah, I did like Looney Tunes.
How are you watching them in the 80s and 70s?
TV?
Just like Saturday morning cartoons.
They have TVs now?
So they used to have cartoons on the weekends in the afternoon. So I don't think we ever watched cartoons in the morning. We used to watch them, like Sunday afternoon or something.
Yeah, but Nick, didn't you have What's Up, Doc? Wasn't that like there's a TV show like in the 90s? I don't know if it was dated back before the 90s, but it was like a collection of like anthology show of little shorts.
Are you talking
about
which Nick are you talking to, Alex?
Sorry, the slow one down below me.
That was that when Sophie Lee or something was presenting?
That one. Yeah,
that's the one I think I was out. I think I was out by the time Sophie Lee was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And is there like a comical anecdote of why you didn't have a TV for 10 years, or is it better not talk about?
Yeah, I think that was like the biggest takeaway.
It's because I was part of a cult, but let's just leave it at that. Let's not explore that anymore.
Classic cult story. Love it.
Yeah.
No worries.
Dave Dye, what are you drawing? Tell me, I want to do a little bit of breaking down your art before I ask you the big question. What's going on the page?
Right, we've got Elmer Fudd is my character, but of course you can't do Elmer Fudd without the rabbit, Bugs Bunny.
The rabbit.
So there he is. And I'd just like to point out that this is, it's actually called Looney Tunes, not tunes. It's it's like the music.
Merry Melody.
Wasn't it like the something melodies that they always said at the beginning? Or is that
Merry Melody?
Yeah,
Merry Melody. Something else, I think. Is it Merry Melodies, or is it the same Warner Brothers?
So if it's called Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, that's a real focus on the music.
Yeah,
that's like two titles for the band, and then we get to enjoy the cartoon. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's watching it and going, this would be okay, but I could just have the music. I don't think there's many people.
Weren't there also silly symphonies and those sorts of things? Or was it a relic of the time before synchronized sound or something that they would play music? I think there's something like that, and I really should know. But I think that whole thing about them playing in a theater before a movie, and just having music might have been a thing in the very early days of the cartoons.
Yeah, right. Maybe that was because, like, in Bugs' first cartoon, he doesn't actually speak. He's more of a mime type dude.
Does he?
Yeah, he does a lot of magic tricks and waves his hands, and he's still cheeky. But I don't think he gets into that gangster talk that he's got.
No. The first one he did, I thought the Tortoise and the Hare was the first one. There was
Maybe.
a tortoise in their hair, but he looked different. It was before the Chuck Jones. Oh, although hey, Mr. Books over there will tell us.
The complete collection. Just keep talking. I'll see if I can find it. Probably just use the internet, really. But apparently there's too much sex there. So yeah.
You know, we can't have a show about the Looney Tunes without mentioning Mel Blancs. Is it Mel Blancs? I'm getting the name right.
Yeah, Mel Blancs. Yeah.
Mel Blanc.
Mel Blancs. My brain wants to say Mel Brooks. Mel Blancs did all of the voices, and that's unfathomable. No one does that today. He did everything. He was even munching on carrots, which I think he was allergic to. Look that one up, Mr. May.
I had a look at because you asked me to look get to know me character, and I looked up. He only did Elmer Fudd for about 2 years, and then someone else took over.
No,
and actually at one stage there's a lot of different fellas did his voice for Elmer Fudd, and one of them was Will Rogers, the famous cowboy.
Yeah, right. That actually does sound familiar.
But I think he did a singing episode where actually Elmer sang.
Excellent.
I think that's the only bit he did.
Is that why you're a favorite? Why he's your favorite? Because he's got that Western motif about him?
No, it wasn't the reason I picked him.
Hey, can I ask you before anybody else? Did you pick him because he kind of a little bit looks like you, and he's also like a military thing with like guns and stuff?
Well, I did think I was
He's obsessed with killing.
Self-portrait when I did this.
I look at Elmer Fudd and I'm like, "Whoa, boy, he's a stud, my friend." I'm sure the ladies like him.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got this. Yeah, I know what he has to put up with, mate.
Let's move on. Before we get too sexual with Alex again.
I've got to say, my character's theme.
Nathan,
hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
In the pre-show, Nathan was telling us how he's always commenting. He loves the show. Can't get enough of us.
That's the abbreviated version, yeah.
Right. Here he is. I'm putting him on the spot.
Yeah.
What's your favorite character? Who's your favorite Looney Tune?
I'm not a huge like Looney Tune animated person, but I'd say Bugs Bunny, just because he's the most well known. He's like the leading man of the show. Like he gets the win, you know. So I think he's just got that personality, like, instantly recognizable. So I'd say probably him. But
you'll get no argument
from an uneducated Looney Tune non-fan, you know.
Non-fan.
So, well, I'm a fan, but like not like.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you only saw Space Jam like once at the theater?
No. Was it actually in the theaters? No. I think it was like I saw it like maybe on the weekend on like in the mornings, like on TV, but. And they were old then, like, and I was like, I don't even know what this is, but I don't know. So I'm probably the worst person to have tonight. So I apologize.
Look, you know what the show's like. We never know anything about the characters. It's pretty. It's when we know about the characters that's weird and off-brand.
That's what makes it interesting. That it lets you share information. Yeah, but in tonight, I'll know everything.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Nick May, how's your information sourcing coming?
Yeah, no, I realized it was in a book, and I don't have my reading glasses on.
No,
only your drawing glasses.
These are your drawing glasses.
They're just drawn on. Yeah.
Brad Daniels, how's your microphone going, my friend? You're muted at the moment, so we won't know.
How can you know how my microphone is?
We got you. There you are. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
It's good to hear your wonderful voice.
Good to see you, mate.
Oh,
straight
lovely.
to it.
Thank you very much.
Looney Tune. Who's your favorite? Let's go.
Who's my favorite? That's really tough. I mean, I like Daffy Duck's attitude.
Yeah.
That he is he's a cranky bastard. I can relate to that. but Bugs Bunny is the best. It's like asking what's your favorite superhero. You're either gonna say Batman or Spider-Man. I mean, it's a real cop out, but Bugs Bunny is the best. He is the best one.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Daffy, and I've seen docos of like the old masters and the creators of the Looney Tunes, and they have a real affinity for Daffy because, like you said, he's so relatable. He tries the hardest, and he wants the most. Daffy's quite cool, and it's hard to get a rise out of Bugs. But Daffy,
you can't get a rise out of Bugs.
Yeah, but Daffy goes out. He goes up. He's the best to draw. He's he's wacky. He gets punished the most too, but he keeps going. Daffy's a hero, like for sure.
I once saw get his whole beak blasted off his head.
Yeah, it'll spin around.
Can you imagine that?
Well, this is the fella that does it. Elmer's the one that does it, mate.
That's it.
Right. The worst part is you find out the hard way that that's not how duck beaks are attached to their heads.
You can spin around.
They don't. Well, they don't spin back, and they don't attach back, and it's like then you got the RSPCA after you. It's not a pretty.
This is
sight.
how you found out, Alex.
Well, I found out it's bad that way, and it was kind of gross. I didn't like to hurt the duck. I don't like the RSPCA chasing me. It's all bad.
Fair enough.
It's funny, like a lot of modern. Oh, here we go. This looks like it has to be read out. Looney Tunes were black and white. Merry Melodies were color. Then they all became color. They just called them Looney Tunes. Mel Blanc had a contract that said he could be the only credited voice actor. Well done, Mel. Was that something Mel would have encouraged, or was it just forced onto him? Like, nah.
I think it sounds like Mel was like saying, "Look, if you're not going to give me proper credit, then I'll do all the voices, so that way people aren't going to be confused which character I did."
Oh, sure. until Dave's died.
He's a smart
Dave
guy.
died, and bumped him out.
Yeah, I found him out.
Thanks for that, Neil. Keep those comments coming, everyone, especially when they're so educational. Brad, you mentioned the animated violence of Daffy getting his beak blown off. I've seen kids watch cartoons today, and like I'm a primary school teacher, so when it's a rainy day or when they're eating their food, they have requests. Currently, they all ask for things like Bluey or Peppa Pig, and those cartoons are like,
how dare they?
They look nice to the eye, whatever, but I think they're made with computers, and those characters they don't stretch, they don't squeeze through doors, they don't get flattened. They're just basic forms, and the focus is on dialogue and the story. And I go back to Bluey. They're just domestic adventures. They're just kids living their lives with their parents, whatever, and that's great, whatever. But you put on a Daffy Duck cartoon for the kids, they get excited, man. Like I put Wile E. Coyote trying to get that Roadrunner for kids, and they jump up and down, like. And I'm not sure if I'm meant to be showing them this stuff, which is half the reason I do it. But the comments are like, they're so good. They don't say the kind of things like when they're watching Bluey. Like when Wile E. Coyote falls and dies for the 14th time, they say things like, he's never going to get that duck. He's never going to get that duck. Or they figure it out real quick. Like someone says, didn't he just get blown up? And the next kid will say, yeah, but he's back. He's back, and he's going to keep trying. And I love that stuff, and I'll encourage it. And I'll say things like, I saw one episode where he gets him. Maybe I'll find it. He'll get him one day, I'm sure. And then they'll argue back. We've lost Brad.
I found him. But Brett's now, oh, wow, from this angle, he's got like a Wolverine in the future kind of vibe going on.
Logan.
It reminds me it's like the Hound, man. He reminds me like it's gonna come slice up.
Yeah, it's like
that beard. It's so good.
Oh, it's gone. It's just kicked out. So yeah, to summarize, the OG cartoons, like the animated hand-drawn violence, it's sort of a lost art in so many ways. Just even having quiet mime characters, I'd love to see more of. But
I think it's just not on TV, Nick. Like you can find them online. If you go on YouTube, there's like a bunch of
different
people.
again, because that's online
Yeah, but
stuff.
on TV, yeah, it's online, but that's just where the world is now. Like nobody watches TV. People need to find it online, and then you find new stuff. Like there's a lot of people still doing these old-fashioned animations and stuff. Like I'll find out, and I'm like, I didn't know people still do it. And then there's this like weird Korean cartoon. It's got two little worms in there, and it's all Looney Tunes principles. It's everything squashing, stretching, and these bugs all kind of like hurt each other and stuff. And it's really well done. And so it still exists. It's just kind of weird how it's just kind of taken out of our main sites.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what I want. I want it back in the main sites. But
I don't watch Channel 9 anymore.
But for now, it is fun showing, banned, dangerous cartoons to children and thinking, should I be doing this? That's what I live for. Sizzle, we skipped you. I'd like to hear your favorite character right now.
Right now, I think as a kid, I absolutely loved the terror and the trail of destruction that was Tassie.
Yeah, Tassie Devil.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I like seeing things destroyed. It was I was a strange kid.
What was the basic premise of a Taz episode?
That's a good point.
Was it bugs?
Did he get episodes?
Could I pop in with some trivia?
Please.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I believe that there are only ever 2 or 3 Looney Tunes made with the Tasmanian Devil in it.
No way. Serious?
I'm pretty sure there was only 2 in the old days, and then they made a TV series about them.
I was on with the family.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Vaguely, that's not what I was keen on. It was in the Looney Tunes when he was destroying everything.
Fair enough. So yeah, there was a very limited exposure for the old Tasmanian Devil back in the old cartoons. Obviously, made a big impact. I know he's almost exactly like the Tasmanian Devil in his attitude. Constant destruction.
I remember going to the zoo as a kid and looking at the map of all the animals, and you're like, yeah, whatever. Ooh, Tasmanian Devil. And as a kid, I didn't actually know what a Tasmanian Devil looked like. So it was sort of at the end of the tour, and it was sort of like the big finale of my time at the zoo. And when we got to it, there was this like wild dog, I don't know, beaverish type of creature. And I sort of was like, I mean, I get it. That's not my Taz. But the winning thing, though, was it was wild, and it was running in circles, like doing laps of its enclosure. And I was like, yeah, they got something right, though. That's a mongrel, and it's going. So, yeah. And there was always, I guess as an Australian, there's always a bit of pride in Taz because everything was so American with the Looney Tunes. But you could see yourself in Taz. You were like, yeah, we made the list.
That could have been it as well, actually.
I was talking about so American. Pepe Le Pew is not American.
That's true, but he was very American French, whatever that means.
Quebec. He's from Quebec.
You mean French Canadian?
Yeah.
If there's any French people watching, I'd love to hear like what the was it the same, like the proudness of seeing your country represented?
Hey, look at this.
Or was it just shame? Like, we're not like that.
Speedy Gonzalez is an American.
Yes, but he was very. He was
legally anyway.
A stereotype of
Reba, Andre.
But didn't a bunch of Mexicans complain to say that they don't?
Bullshit! No, they didn't.
No. Wait. They hear me out. I think that Mexicans were complaining about people complaining about Speedy. I think Mexicans actually like Speedy Gonzalez.
Ah, right. Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. But I haven't seen Speedy for ages. So is he banned?
No.
I mean,
they're all
movie and then they cancelled it. I think they filmed the whole thing and then cancelled it.
Are you talking about the Coyote versus Acme movie?
Yeah, like the live action.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if that one comes to light. For those of you who don't know, I think they made a film. It was a live action film about Coyote in a lawsuit against the Acme Club, but it was one of those like Batgirl cancelled Warner Brothers films.
Is this something similar to like the Chip and Dale one, where they were kind of like in the live action world? The Chip and Dale
I think it was
movie?
that kind of thing. I think it moved between both.
Okay.
Yeah, but like this is a film no one's seen, so I don't know what to tell you. Yes.
Can you give us a quick review then of this movie?
I cannot. Nor will I. Shout out to Shaden, who couldn't make it tonight. Thanks for getting me through my uni work. Keen to see what you lot come up with. So yeah, send in your Looney Tunes art. We'd love to hear from you. Alex,
I'd rather be doing this than uni work.
that's it. Alex, earlier you mentioned Mickey Mouse in comparison to Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, and I feel like it's sort of an age-old question, like who's the guy? Who's better, Bugs or Mickey? I want to hear from you.
Neither. To be honest, I'm a Daffy Duck guy. If that
You're a Daffy Duck.
For me, it's about and I like Donald as well. So I reckon it's about those. I don't know. I honestly never understood the appeal to Daffy Duck. Not Daffy Duck. Sorry, Daffy Duck. Bugs Bunny. I didn't get the appeal because he's just like a smart ass. And he's never, you never root for him because he never loses. Like Daffy Duck, I'm like, oh man,
never barrack, mate. You root for him, you know what you're doing. You're having sexual intercourse, so no, we don't do that. We barrack.
Yeah, I know what I was saying, Dave.
Dave, if you root for someone, you're having sexual intercourse for someone. So,
well, you'd be a prostitute.
Be having sexual intercourse on his behalf.
You'd be a
Well,
prostitute.
that degraded quickly.
Dave, animators don't make much money animating. So, anyways, yeah, but to be honest, like I always liked the Looney Tunes animations better. Even like when I was working at Disney, I was like the Looney Tunes had all this squash and stretch. They've got all these smear frames and all this other stuff, and there's like a lot more life in them, and there's a lot more stuff going on. And with Disney, I remember even drawing. It's like super slow. It's all methodical, and you're drawing 3D shapes and all this other stuff. But yeah, just I always liked the Looney Tune stuff, personally.
Yeah, right.
Just casually dropping Disney there, like just.
Oh, that's what he does. That's the Alex man.
Not casual. There's nothing casual about it, dude.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Disney.
Disney sequel. What can I say? Half the frame rate.
Yeah, everything's on twos.
You know that good movie? That was me. The bad one wasn't me.
It was me. The third sequel, maybe me. I saw some sort of YouTube video, and the final line regarding Bugs and Mickey was something like, "We all like Mickey, we might even love Mickey, but we want to be Bugs. We admire Bugs.
I want to be Scrooge McDuck.
You want to be the duck."
Scrooge McDuck's got all the money, dude. Why would you want to be Bugs?
Well,
I don't even know how he made money. He just has money. I don't know.
Because he has a sixth sense for finding money.
Is that what it is?
Apparently.
We're going with
Disney.
I think the one that most people despised more than anything was that bloody Roadrunner. Oh man! I
Yeah,
thought
sure.
You don't like Mr.
Bloody thing.
Yeah.
So Lauren's been a bit quiet. Have we? Besides Babs Bunny, what other? Do you like any other characters? You could jump in this, or do you have any like? Or you like? I like Disney better. I think Looney Tunes are shit.
No, I think you guys are right in terms of like, because I studied animation as well, right? And squash and stretch was like my biggest thing for when I studied. That's what I gravitated towards. So I totally get that aspect of the tunes. Not to say that Disney's obviously not got its amazing bits and pieces, but I think that era where Space Jam came out and they started doing like there was also the Roger Rabbit as well, where they were like morphing real life with animation, and it was traditional animation. That's what I vibe the most, and that's I really loved the Monstars, that's who I'm drawing one of them tonight. like, you know, just that introduction of just more new age that's mixed with still the old stuff. That's where I kind of sit in terms of what I like.
Yeah, I think the Monstars represent that really well because they don't look like Looney Tunes. They look like their own thing.
That's the
but
whole
they look
premise
great
of the
next
thing,
to it.
right? They want what they've got, and you know, most animations these days, like you said, like Bluey's amazing. Like I love Bluey. The storytelling within that is good, but yeah, you're definitely right in terms of the quality of animation's just not the same anymore, and obviously that's got to do with deadlines and production and cost. Which,
it's a different game entirely.
Oh yeah.
But also they just do differently stuff because like before, when you're drawing everything, you can have more fun with drawing because you're not restricted as much by technicalities. You just restricted. You're drawing every frame anyway. But when you've got all that technicalities, and like these days, it's like 2D animation. It's not drawing everything. It's closer to what 3D animation is. You'll get a rig, and then you're gonna have to move a rig, and then you're limited to whatever your rig can do. So a lot of times it's not, you know, all that stuff. But going back to Roger Rabbit, that is to me still the most amazing movie ever. Because if you look at it, although it's done by Disney and most of it Disney, they're still faithful to the Looney Tunes characters. So the Looney Tunes characters are still it's done by Disney. Andreas Deja was the character designer and lead animator on Roger Rabbit, and a lot of other guys.
But they did bring in like Bugs Bunny was in that at the end as well. So they kind of
they did. No, everything was done. Like all the characters are done. The studio was actually done in. It was done. Disney was the producer for it, but it was actually Richard Williams, like the animation book everybody has. He was also he was the animation director on it. And he took a bunch of Disney guys to the UK to his studio, and he studied under I think it's called Ken Harris or whatever, one of the Bugs Bunny animators. So they had Bugs Bunny, so they had some Looney Tunes influence. They've got a bunch of Disney influence, and it's all working together. You've got all these characters, so it's not just on a technically and a thematically. It just mixes all these classic animations, and it's not going to be done ever again because like they were even saying that legally it's just so difficult to get all those licenses to work together. So that's just like a once in a lifetime movie, and it's amazing.
It's when you said it was Disney, it's sort of a surprise because when I see it in my head, it's quite a dirty film.
That's why they released it under Touchstone. But they released it under Touchstone, which is Disney, but it's their different label.
Right. Oh, well, there you go. And even like Roger gets beat up a lot, not like a Disney character would.
Well, they killed him. They killed him. They put him in.
And they kill him in the thing. And they go to Toon
where
World.
the shoe dies.
Yeah, exactly. And when they go to Toon World, it's colorful and dangerous. It's not like a Disney happy place. It's fun.
I've actually been on the ride, the Roger Rabbit ride at Disney. It was the OG one in Anaheim. That's insane. Like it's a nightmare fuel.
Really?
So, it's good, but not for little ones.
Yeah, there you go. I read somewhere that Roger Rabbit was drawn to have the face of a Looney Tune and the body of a Disney character, which you can sort of picture in your mind. He's got those bug's eyes, those long eyes, and he's wearing overalls with big buttons, like a simple Disney character. Do you see where my allegiance lies? The way I phrase things, like a boring, run-of-the-mill character of Disney. Take that, Alex.
I'm not that passionate about Disney. Just as long as we all can agree that Lion King 1.5 is the best 2D feature ever made, especially the little blobs and shadows.
There you go. Lauren and Alex, you mentioned the squash and stretch. Can you break that down for the simpletons at home and people like me who don't exactly know what you're talking about?
Okay, so let me bring up. Can you bring up my screen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. And I will. So squash and stretch, basic animation stuff. So you've got a ball. So the best way to do it is you've got a ball, right? And you're going to do a ball that's bouncing up and down. So you want to go like bounce,
mm-hmm.
go down, So you've got your ball, it's starting off, and then it's going to gain momentum, so which means that you're going to drag that motion downwards.
Fine.
So it's going to stretch that, and it will keep going down. So you can extend that out. So these are more keyframes. The keyframes you kind of like are the key moments of your animation. And then there's in-betweeners, which do all like the stuff in between here. So your keyframes, you do that. And when it hits the ground, it's going to go, so we go like this, it's going to start gaining that. Ooh. Think of it as like you got fluid here. So the fluid's pushing down, the fluid's going to expand, and then you're going to have like this big ball that goes like that. And then you've got fluid sort of like go like this. And then you go back up again. So it goes bang. And you go back up again. And you got like that going back up, goes around, back down. Oh, well, actually, sorry, I should say when it gets up to the top, because that's when your motion sort of stops for a little bit and it comes back down. Cool. And then, we'll do the same again. So if it goes like boing, boing. Yeah, it's pretty, that's a very, very broken down example, but you get where I'm going.
For a minute, it was like the Chumbawamba song. Goes down, gets up again. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somebody remembers that song?
I remember it.
But if
his references. Sorry.
Yeah. So you can get rid of that now. But if you think about it, like think about the motions of something. So if it's bouncing, it's got to go quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow. So whenever it's going quickest, that's when you're going to stretch it the most, because that's going to give it the illusion of movement. And that's where you can kind of do the smear thing as well. So if they're looking quickly, you can smear their face from one direction to the other direction, and then you smear it across so it looks like they're looking really quickly. That's really good to do with pupils as well, if you want them to like dart their pupils around.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I can remember a technique, I won't be able to name it. It's sort of like the smear, where a character would like put something in a box and they'd turn their head and then they'd sway across and they'd change the scene or the angle, and their body would sort of stay the same but blur, and they'd pick it up out of the other box and then go back and forth, and you just see this like the scenes were changing and the figure in the middle was sort of blurring in between him to put the thing in each box or take it out. That was something that always stuck out as like, that's a Looney Tune. You know, I don't see Mickey do that kind of stuff.
You should watch the newer Mickeys now. They're doing very, like, it's more Cartoon Network-esque, 90s style.
Oh, really?
The new Mickeys are, they're kind of, it's like a mix between classic 30s Mickey to Cartoon Network style. It's kind of interesting. I just don't like it as a, I just don't like it as a series. I would have liked them to do shorts rather than to do like full series, because it looks nice, but just doesn't, it seems like a one-off thing rather than a constant branding from Mickey. But stop talking about, let's stop derailing this. Like, how awesome was Tiny Toons?
What's a
Tiny Toons? What?
Oh, the
babies. When they were little babies.
Oh, for sure.
No, they're not. They weren't even. It's not even babies. It's like kind of an alternative universe, because they all have different names.
I didn't know that.
They're just kind of children equivalent.
Because Bugs
of
was
the
blue, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was something else. I know there was
a bit more like streety, wasn't it? It was a bit more like Cartoon Network, sharper lines type deal. Is this what we're talking about?
It was a Steven Spielberg. No. It looked like a classic. It's a Spielberg. He produced it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the same.
It looks the same style. It's
okay.
Yeah, it looks like nobody did their research on Tiny Toons, thinking, oh, well, we're keeping this strictly to Looney Tunes. None of this stuff. All right.
We're doing Tiny Toons next week, Alex. We gotta drag it out. We're running out of characters.
Yeah.
Because
we are going to run out of characters if we keep doing themes where it's like 100 characters for one.
I mean, that's very true.
Else. Let's see. The next theme is going to be stuff.
I've got a reference for everyone. They call me Quick for a reason. Here we go. Whoop! Wrong button. Stay tuned. That's Lauren.
That's not Tiny Toons.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. That's Tiny Toons. Yes.
Yeah, Tiny Toons. Yeah, blue and pink, green. Oh wow.
Yeah, I know the girl's called Babs. I forgot what the blue one's called, but yeah, they all have different names. It's kind of like equivalent, but not the same.
Oh, I remember
And
this
Animaniacs comes from here as well.
Yeah, this feels like the Animaniacs.
Oh,
What
yes.
did this girl say? She had a line. It was like,
"Yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna hug you.
There
Love
you go.
before you, George."
I gotta love it. Yeah, she was a lot. I like that Nelson from The Simpsons was also in it. Like, who cares? Let's just put him in.
Well, this predates The Simpsons, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do I know? Well, I thought while I've got this up, I thought we might have a go at just trying to dissect what is like the basic principle of a Looney Tunes look. I mentioned earlier that Roger Rabbit had a Looney Tune inspired face. So if I bring this back up, I'm looking for everyone's help. What are the main concepts here we're looking for with the Looney Tune?
Well,
I dare say that the eyes, like the long eyes, are really important.
Yep.
Wait a second. Where's Porky?
Porky, mate.
Yeah.
I chose this image for a reason, and that's that they all have a similar design, except Porky breaks that.
It doesn't. So it's Marvin the Martian.
I mean, Porky and
made out of
Elmer
sausages.
Fudd and Marvin are a sort of a different sort of circle thing going on, for sure. But what are the similarities here? There's sort of like this triangle skull. There's definitely no brain. That's sort of important. Dave, I want to hear from you. What's the key concept of a Looney Tune design?
I don't know. You have to go. You have to follow the artist that did it. The two main artists that like famous ones are Tex Avery and Chuck Jones, and then there's a bunch of other animators that took over and took it further.
But weren't those directors?
So
not to take away their artist ability, but weren't those? They were directors, not
directors too, but they animated and
artists.
storyboarded and designed this as well. They're artists. Like Chuck Jones does animation tutorials as well.
Yeah, right.
And I forgot. I think there's a guy called Fritz Freeling. I think he was another one that nobody ever mentions, but he
doesn't get as much praise.
But I think he took like But like you can tell that because like Chuck Jones left the Looney Tunes and he did Tom and Jerry, and then Tom and Jerry changed and looked like Looney Tunes for a bit.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Sorry,
I'm trying to draw something. I'm trying to draw all the characters here,
these
but
guys, it's their basic shapes. So if you look at them, they're all just like either oblong, like they're just circles. I like the way I teach it in class because I do some young drawing classes. Is I always say it's sausages and meatballs. Do you see a sausage or do you see a meatball?
Yeah.
If you like look at their body, it's just a sausage. Look at their arms, sausages. Like at the head, maybe a meatball, and the cheeks were meatballs on like Bugs Bunny. So like you do all the simple shapes and then build up from there. And I think that's why it's so easy because they're so bendable. They're quite, they're quite rubbery, if that makes sense.
They've all got these. I haven't scaled this right, but they seem to like have a focus on huge feet, which is fun. I'm trying to draw all the characters and none of the characters in this picture. It's looking more like Bugs, but
you probably just focus on the construction a bit first.
Say that again.
I want to do the constructions first a little bit because, like, if you look at the Looney Tunes, like as like Lauren said, that there's like look for the meatballs and sausages. So just have like the circles and the long shapes, and try to sculpt it that way. Because like if you look at like the sketches that they've done, they've got all of them have like a line of action as well.
There's a sausage and meatball right there.
There you go.
You're a sausage and meatball.
What makes Lola different?
She's more curvy.
More curvy. What's going? There's obviously some eyelash stuff going on. I can't see Lola in my head right now.
Speaking of girly, there's Bugs Bunny likes to dress like a girl a lot and then trick other dudes.
He's good at drag.
Yeah.
Got a falling Elmer with it.
Yeah.
There is a lot of attention to like the brow. Like this can do a lot in a Looney Tune. This flap of skin will really go crazy or come down really hard.
Yeah, the coyote has really pronounced eyebrows.
Oh, sure. He's a quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those like Yosemites.
Yeah.
They'll get really hairy.
Wait, isn't Brad supposed to do Yosemite Sam voices?
I put the pressure on him. He never Excellent.
I love it.
I just want to touch on one last thing. I think what I really like about the Looney Tunes are these long eyes, particularly when Bugs, he brings them right down. Like he's such a suave guy. He's got all this, so much eyelid to play with.
Yeah.
That feels like the worst thing I've done yet, but
Nathan, feel free to jump in, Nathan.
Ooh, man, I'm just going with it, man. You guys know about animation. I feel so underqualified tonight. I'm like,
no, we don't know.
When was the X-Men night? I need to be here for that. Then I could yes, I know this stuff.
X-Men.
I'll keep
I
that
will
in
say,
mind.
if you do want to learn to draw better, study animation. Like the fundamentals that you get from that, it does transfer a lot across to drawing and creating fluidity in your work. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's fun. How long did you study, Lauren?
Mine was a short and sweet 9-month course. It was a diploma.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Alex? Did you have formal training?
I had a 6-month in between training at Disney. So, and then they just like after 6 months they go like, okay, do this at work, and then they have like lots of other training there. So they have life drawing once a week, and then we had people come in as well. We also did acting classes. So if you want to be a good animator, you need to act. So we had like NIDA tutors come into our to Disney and teach us acting.
Really?
I don't know how much acting there was. We had to make a bridge once. I don't know what that was about. We all had to pretend to be a bridge. I'm sure just for that nugget, I'm probably, ready for Home and Away. But
yeah,
but that's not what I want to be ready for.
Maybe take another medium course, middle course, 6-month course, and then you'll be ready.
That could be a highway. But
I remember seeing a doco of Looney Tunes directors, creators, and they would have a mirror next to their art board or whatever they've got.
Yeah.
And they're always sort of referencing their own sort of Bug's face and then going in there. Does anyone here draw with a mirror?
I don't, but you have.
I take photos of myself all the time.
You got this. You got this thing.
Yeah.
I use my phone.
You can say phone for mirror. I'll accept phone for mirror.
I try to find better looking versions to take the pictures of.
It's just more about it's not about like what you look like. It's just about how your jaw moves, what's the expression you want to do, and it's a reference. You don't want to draw yourself.
Right.
But
soccer ball like the whole time.
So why would Dave using a diving mask then?
Yeah, but the other thing is also I remember like what they did as well. I learned watching the making of Emperor's New Groove. The guys used to film it themselves, so they filmed all their references using at the time like a handycam. And I remember I was teaching animation in some like workshops in outsourced studios in China, because they wanted to know how do we appeal to Westerners. And then I was like, okay, well, this is how Westerners animate. And they were pretty upset that I made them film themselves and for references and stuff. And I'm like, that's what your animation is? And like, why? Why can't I just watch it on the internet? And I'm like, because you don't feel it. If you're not trying to, if you're not doing it yourself, you're not feeling
understand
it.
the movement.
Yeah. So we
it's hard, man.
Yeah. So it's.
I got a heap of like pictures on my phone where I'm like holding my hand in a certain direction. My face in the background's kind of just like this triple chin going on. I'm trying to get like this actual. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh man, would you share any of those reference images, Lauren? Not just hands.
I would.
Do you have any of you like sneaking around and just the cool poses? Do you have anything like that?
I had to do a test animation for a company like 2 weeks ago, and it was like a side scroller, and they're trying to do 2D animation for all their side scrolling for this game. And so they wanted to see what I animated. And it's been a while. So I just filmed myself doing kicks and punches in slow-mo and watching myself do that in like sports pants. And, it's not pleasant, but I got what I needed. So
Got the good for you. We look forward to you uploading them next week.
yeah. It'll be a special edition of Drink and Draw. Watching Lauren's Jiggly Bits.
Jiggly Bits. I want to do one of those Spedsy segues now. Speaking of Jiggly Bits, and now I'll just roll the dice. Nick May, how are you going?
I'm done.
You're done?
Everybody's done. I need more time.
Are we meant to be done, by the way? What's the time? What's the time frame? Just if there was a time frame, just to let me know. What is it?
Now.
I think it'll take a year now.
5 minutes? 5 more minutes?
5 more minutes. All right, we're gonna do the ultra speed run right now.
Is that the format, Sizzle?
It's very loose, but technically we go around the hour mark that we start picking on people.
I need 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, we'll vamp.
It can be done. It can be done just for you, Alex.
Can we have a segue? Did you work? Is this okay? The Ride to El Dorado. Is this Disney?
DreamWorks.
Okay, so you didn't work on
other
that.
company.
Sorry.
So that's like the best movie. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Atlantis?
That's Disney.
How about?
Yeah. Okay. Best movie. There we go.
I got one. Mel Blanc. He did a lot of stuff besides Looney Tunes.
Did you really?
Oh, cool.
Do you know that he did the voice of Tweaky in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century?
Oh.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Battlestar Galactica.
No, we did something. We did something with that. Was it?
We didn't do
Galactica?
Buck Rogers. We didn't do Buck Rogers.
Galactica. Okay, cool. Not the same. Why does Betsy have like
everything?
That photo looks not.
Alex, you got 15 minutes. You can't be looking at photos of Spedsy. All right, get cracking.
I'm in trouble. Hold on.
I'm speed running. All right, I'm going.
I like to break down pictures.
Okay. I'll do what I can.
Would you be interested in sharing where you're at, Lauren, or should I pick on Nick May?
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to bring up Lauren's artwork. Tell us what's going on. Wow, this is fun.
Oh, cool.
Oh, look, this is great. You've got a 3D reference here. Talk to me about what you've used here.
So if anybody's using Clip Studio, and I've only just really discovered that this is a thing, and it kind of makes my life a lot easier finding references. I'll bring up the little menu for Clip Studio because it's super handy. But you can find 3D models of absolutely like anything, and they cost little to nothing, or even there's a lot of free stuff. But you can manipulate them and change them for reference. So if there's like a particular pose that you're looking for, or like an item, or like maybe a street city or something like that, you can get it and then just like twist and turn it however you want.
Cool. And then you've spun them around. Have you chosen exactly where that one's, the angle on that one and everything?
Yeah, so I've twisted and turned that, and then you can change the perspective on it. So let me I'll just bring up a random one. I'm not going to pull up the menu. Okay, let's go. I'll bring up the shoe. There we go. Let me get rid of all this.
You reference the shoe. That's dedication.
I got a shoe, and then I can change the angle of it. Let me resize it.
Fine.
And you can like change it, and then you can even like change the toe.
Can you stretch it?
You can change perspective. That's it. So it doesn't like morph it. However, like that's up to you to do that as an artist. I try not to trace anything.
Sure.
So you can like fully, you can fully like, oh god. But it does work on planes, so you need to understand like how it sits on a plane, and that's like 3D animation type stuff. So like that grid on the bottom is where it like is. That's the floor. You can see where like the shadow is. So you can set up like a full scene or whatever. But it's just really good for quick reference if you need like something to really help you out
really
in
cool.
a situation when your brain doesn't work. But typically I'm used to taking just photos of myself or, trolling Pinterest for stuff. But yeah, I just used that reference, changed it, and then I went over it to like look at the movement lines, so like this little part. So I'm looking where the the collarbones are going, where the chest is going, and where the hips are going. And then you want to go through the middle to the spine to see which way that the body turns. But the good thing about most of the models, it does come with the mesh on it, so you can actually like get that movement line down the leg and stuff for reference. So it makes life a little bit easier for you if you
That's really cool.
if you're struggling with that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Brilliant.
I love that you've chosen Space Jam. Whenever I think of Space Jam, I think, how did this get made? Like, was there some guy in an office who was like, I got an idea. I want to get Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny in the same room, and I want that to be how we sell the film. Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan, let's go.
And also just throw Bill Murray in there.
Let's just chuck Bill in.
Wasn't it based on wasn't Space Jam based on an ad?
An ad?
Really?
What?
Yeah, I think so. That's an ad. I think so. But I reckon Space Jam is one of those things where it's like a divide a generation. Because I think if you're of a certain age, like if you grew up watching Looney Tunes in the 80s or earlier, like the Space Jam is just offensive. But I think if you're like a little kid, then I think that's your jam because that's what you were. I don't know, like Nick, you're also my age, vaguely. How do you feel about? You seem like somebody who was offended by Space Jam.
I was offended by Space Jam, but only because my favorite basketball movie was Harlem Globetrotters Visit Gilligan's Island. So the bar was set pretty high for me.
Isn't it essentially the same
Michael
storyline?
Jordan. Sorry, what's that?
Wasn't it essentially the same storyline?
Yeah, largely. Yeah.
Yeah, basketball games to decide the future of this fantastic characters and their home. Yeah. And they were like robots from another planet or something.
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh,
Sounded pretty similar without Bill Murray.
It's not the same.
Sorry, I cut you off because I wanted to tell you how much I knew about it.
No, but somebody will remind me of the timeline. But I think Michael Jordan had retired from basketball to play baseball at the time. And as part of the filming, apparently they built him a full-size court and he got a lot of NBA players to scrimmage with him. So I guess the best thing that came out of Space Jam was that Michael Jordan stayed in touch with basketball and came back soon after, bigger and better. I don't know. I did go to the movies to see it, and I have a feeling that I regretted it at some stage. I don't really remember it.
So wait,
I mean, to me, it looked like it had no soul and commercialized.
Clearly, Alex and Nick May, what was the offensive part? What was what turned you off?
You know how some people don't like the new Star Wars?
Oh, sure.
It's kind of it. It's just that, like, Mel Blanc, it was the first movie Mel Blanc didn't voice him in, Bugs Bunny. So the voice of Bugs Bunny there was Billy West. So like a lot of the stuff. So there's that. Also, it just seemed very commercial. Like, Bugs Bunny, it didn't have any of the snappy, like even the animation wasn't as snappy. Like there's Looney Tunes Back in Action. That's actually the animation direction is done by, I keep forgetting, I'm really bad with names, but it's the guy that did the Genie in Disney. It's a Disney guy, basically.
Okay.
And and if you watch the animations on Looney Tunes Back in Action, you're like, oh, it's beautiful, but there's something missing. Compared to the old ones, and that's kind of where that is kind of sits as well. It just seems like there's something's about it off. Like news, like when your favorite director is not part of the TV series anymore, and you're like, all the same actors are there, but it's not as funny anymore.
There's something missing, sure.
Yeah, there's something missing. So that's really the feeling. And then you're like, why is Michael Jordan in there?
I think having the movie carried by a non-actor, it was just, it was annoying.
Sometimes he's fine, but you do notice some points you're like, that man's working by himself on a green screen, and he's not feeling it. He's not doing the best.
Did have that problem with Roger Rabbit, did you?
That's right. I guess, like, as a kid, you don't see the Nike commercial that is the film so often, and but I remember, like, what you're saying, it looked and felt different. I do remember that feeling, but as a kid, I was like, it looks realer. Like, there was more shading on Bugs' arms.
Yeah, and I hated that.
Right. For me, it was like, I've graduated from TV set to cinema. Michael Jordan's there, and I'm wearing his cap right now. It was amazing experience. Yeah.
So you've got Michael Jordan's cap.
Yes. We all did. The 90s.
I think, I'm sure,
on our
I'm
head.
sure he's looking for it now.
Game, but we knew who to go for, and we knew who the best guy was. That's how it worked. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I like this comment. I see it all the time. The 1996 Space Jam website is still active, unchanged. I visit it from time to time. We all like to revisit the Space Jam website. Sizzle, is it time? Shall we start sharing the arts?
We shall start sharing the art. Sounds good. I will go to the right page. And the first piece of art we were sent in earlier this week, actually, was by Marty Wells. I'm quite fond of this.
Ah, very good.
Oh, is it
abstract?
Is it finished?
I see Porky.
Definitely got the
Speedy's
bloody.
in there.
Hey, that
Speedy
looks
got
like
Al's in
James
there.
Sylvester. Sylvester on the left. And Porky Pig.
Yep.
Tweety. Bugs.
There is some good
Daffy.
things going on here.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the little white character, though.
What,
Is that
Porky
Speedy
Pig?
Gonzales?
Or hat.
Speedy.
That's the mouse.
Oh, is that Speedy? Oh, of
Come on.
course.
It looks like he drew it and then removed his line art and left the colors. It's really sweet.
It's just a
It's
color
fantastic.
layer.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't notice that. Oh.
Yes, but you've taken this I can't see racial stereotype a little bit too far.
Dan May sent his in a bit earlier.
Oh, nice.
He's gone just
nice.
out,
All right.
gone crazy.
Oh, there's that red thing. What's that red thing? I've seen it.
What is
I
it?
keep forgetting the name.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Yowie.
the red-
Is that what it is? Because
I
I,
don't know
think
if
he's
it's called
from
the
Mars.
Yowie.
Isn't it? From
Wasn't
Mars?
wasn't it one of the Marvin Martian's like lackeys?
Oh, it might
We'll
have
never
been
know.
an alien, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure. It's been a long time.
Gee, you got a lot in there. The bull? What was the bull to do with the song they had?
Ferdinand.
No, that was Walt Disney had the bull with.
No. But there was are you talking about this? That specific? Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Home on the Range.
Is it? What's
Yeah,
Home
the
on the Range?
one with the Roseanne did the cow. You're talking about the relatively recent movie, right? Disney movie with all the cows in it.
No.
Stop talking about Disney. Ugh. We're
Oh,
probably
it's Disney.
This is Looney Tunes. Dan,
Looney
what
Tunes,
was
man.
the bull?
What was
Send
the
in a
bull,
message.
mate?
Let us know,
It
Dan.
was Ferdinand
Awesome
the
work,
bull.
Dan.
Bull was
All right, I'm not-
Ferdinand, but I thought it was a Disney cartoon. Maybe it was.
I vaguely remember Bugs doing the whole fighting it like the
Oh, thing, yeah,
like
the
that.
matador.
the spear
Yeah.
things, and then they end up dancing and singing instead.
That feels right. Mickey
Maybe
Mouse
that
would
was
never
after
do something as cool as that.
Oh, there you go. It's the big creature is apparently Yeti.
A Yeti. The Yeti. There you go. I
Red
knew
Yeti.
it was a bloody Yowie type thing.
I don't know what that is referring to.
Gossamer. Well, gossamer is a type of fabric. Colorado.
Thanks, Tony. That
Colorado,
feels right. I won't
All
argue
right.
with that.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Right.
Agrees with me. Cool.
Yeah.
I
I'm
am
looking for
some of my
next
memories
art.
left after all.
There we go. Neil
was
Blandon.
a Ferdinand the Bull cartoon.
We're going to move on from the bull now, everyone.
I think it was Home on the Range.
We've got a lovely piece by Neil Blandon came in next.
Neil likes to break the format, so I'm keen on this. Here we go.
Pronoun trouble.
Pronoun trouble.
You know what he's done here? I can actually hear Daffy's voice in this image. All that splattering and fuckering, fuckertath. You can come in,
Marvel.
What was his pronoun trouble? What was that?
I have no idea.
General language.
Do you think maybe something to comment on something Nick was talking about?
There's an in-joke there for sure that Neil is going to share in the comments soon, I'm sure.
Good on you, Neil.
Here's something from Davo77.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Nice.
Arriba, andere.
Yeppa! And Davo77 is true on form with doing 2 images for each show.
Yeah, he does. There you go.
Look up here. And just like the cat being this sexual thing.
It looks like the girlfriend's hand.
Alex, do you remember how the tail would get painted? Do you have any specific details on how it happened?
Some of them I remember it's always different. Like he'll like sometimes it's like a bucket of paint would fall on a cat just eating.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then it always paints a line. And then Pepe's like, I've never seen Pepe chase another skunk. Is there any did he ever try this?
No, there were no others. Only one skunk in France.
I think he's in Montreal.
I hope that the girl cat got hit by one of those road painters. You know, those machines that paint the line.
Oh yeah, that as well.
Yeah, I hope that was one of them.
Yeah.
Have you seen a skunk in real life? I've seen them in Canada.
I think one time she got chased by a bull and ran
there we
over
go.
a fence.
Trying to bring the bull back into it.
All right, moving on.
Moving on to Nick May.
Here we go.
Not quite the right timing, but I should have put that at the end. Sorry, Nick.
That's the last stuff, yeah.
The elbow looks more like a nipple than usual, and it's because you've got the red stuff there, the shadows there, so it looks like he's got a nipple on his elbow.
No,
Nick, mate, talk us through what's going on here. He looks like he's doing a wrestling promo.
Okay, so what was happening was when I decided I was going to do Porky Pig, I was sketching it out and I was going to make it into like Cyber Swine. So I was doing half of his face robotic and I was giving him sort of metal arms and whatever. And I thought, well, how am I going to make him also have something about Porky? So I drew on the bow tie and then I started to draw the jacket. And because I'd drawn the underlying body, and I thought, he looks like a stripper. I'm not going to go Cyber Swine. I'm going for manpower.
Stripper Porky Pig. Yeah, nice.
And then I just wanted to muck around with the teeth and whatever. Yeah.
Well, if Omnibo's watching and wants to log on, I'd love for him to bring the show home doing a wrestling Porky Pig promo. That'd be really fun. Or just something for his own show, whatever it is. But I'm hosting this episode tonight. So what's the next one, Sizzle? What do we got?
The next one we have Daffy Duck by Fourth Monkey.
I like
wow,
He's gone the crossover.
Oh, that's when he did the Batman.
Oh, nice.
He did a Batman thing, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really good.
Was there a Batman Duck?
Well, he got dressed up as
It was like Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck's Disney, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought there was Bat Duck or something like that. I thought there was
too.
Yeah.
Count Dracula, you may be thinking of.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh yeah,
the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not the Dark Knight, the Duck Knight. Very good.
That's rad.
Next, apparently we want reference.
Yeah, that's it. Jamie Drury, was it?
It's all in my head.
All in your head.
Looking
That's all I like to hear.
from-
And apparently, this is the reference we were missing. Hang on, I'll go back to the pictures. The reference we were missing for this was God, I've lost where I am.
Berserk
That
reference.
was Daffy
This
Duck.
one,
the Hunt
which I don't know what this
trilogy.
is. I have not seen that.
No,
I
So
don't know.
sorry,
No.
Neil. I'm not getting your joke at all.
no,
Just
mate.
saying.
That made it even more
Duck hunting,
confusing.
rabbit season, duck season, sort of thing. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
if it's
right.
that, then okay, I understand. But yeah,
Yep. I've
It
seen
must
that
be
one.
the pronoun part that he's referring to.
Mm.
Earlier I said suckering succotash. I think that's a Sylvester line. I just want to apologize to anyone.
Yeah, that's Sylvester.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
I'm sorry. He's a black character that Mel Brooks is. They do sound similar. I'm sure you'll
It's under
agree.
pressure.
Man, there's a lot going on up here.
I
But
tell you
that's
what, I didn't like Tweety Bird either.
Yeah, that was another. Yeah, what? Yeah, Tweety Bird and bloody Roadrunner. Bloody bird.
Tweety Bird was always stirring the pot. He was always trying to get that cat in trouble.
You know what? I'll give. I don't mind the Roadrunner, although I did wish the Coyote would have caught him. But the Roadrunner something. But Tweety Bird, he just talked too much.
Oh,
You know, these
what?
annoying boys. Like,
Alex,
"Oh, big guy,
what are you saying?
Just shut up.
Talk too
What?
much.
I
Talk
was
too
like,
much. Oh,
I was
right.
like, this cat has something to say. I was like, I want to hear what Sylvester has to say, not Tweety.
Free succotash.
Fuck Tweety. But anyway,
Cool.
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to do
Nick, you want
Foghorn
to go for
Leghorn.
the? Oh, sorry.
I was going to Foghorn Leghorn's a bloody good one. He was a remember Foghorn the rooster. Foghorn
Yeah,
Leghorn.
yeah,
No, it was like, I think Brad's
all right.
grabbing something.
Yeah, I
Brad,
got
Well,
are
we've
you
got the
bringing something
traditional
interesting?
drawers still. Are you ready? Are you getting yours ready, Brad, or should I pick on Nathan?
You can pick on whoever you like.
I'll pick on you, Brad. Then I just got to find where your screen is. Oh, there we go.
This is not my best work, but
Oi!
Oh no!
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Marvin.
That's
Who's
great.
chasing?
Who's the
So
other
it's,
character?
that's the character from my science fiction comic. I just thought.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah.
Crossover.
Very
Brad, I thought you were holding up
Love
the
it.
frame.
This guy's got the marketing down. I didn't even think of that. He's on the market. This guy.
Well
bit of
done.
a-
There you go.
Never
It
miss an
needs a-
opportunity.
Oh, Nathan,
You
do you
need to
have
put a
your own
link.
comic? You want to pimp or something?
Oh yeah.
Do
It's,
I have it?
Marvin the
It's
Martian.
in the,
put that
it's in the
down, Brad.
works. It's in the works. All right.
You need to put the link in the laser, so it's sort of coming out. So
Yeah, that's a great idea.
yeah, right.
Whack
Next
that
week.
in there now, and we'll shove it back up on the screen. Now we'll pick on Nathan.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This is about as finished as it's going to be. Can we sit? Oh.
There we go, Marvin.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
great.
Traditionally
Very cool.
inked just for
We've got
you
to
guys,
double up.
right?
That's awesome.
That's about as cartoony as I can get, which is
He is
Well, you've done well.
the sexiest Marvin I've ever seen.
thanks. It's modeled on
I can
myself.
remember
Just
drawing
some
that
elbow
helmet
nipples.
was like a whole challenge. It was like getting Marvin's helmet right was a real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've done well.
Can we zoom? Oh, it's just beautiful. I just went for the dry brush on the body because I just ran out of
Oh, I was
ideas.
going to ask you about that. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's a pretty full-on technique. I went for that really uneven dry brush look.
Yeah, right. I thought he was wearing a skivvy or something.
Well,
Go with
he's
that,
wearing like
Nathan. Go with that.
it's like a dress thing. Just really want to get some texture in there that you can only get traditional. You know,
It's cold on Mars.
digital
It's cold on
guys.
Mars.
You got it, man.
Good
If you-
work.
I'm just saying,
You're
sexy
You're far
Martian.
too kind. Far too kind.
I'm going
But,
to show you a picture of Sean Bradley, who was the reference character in Space Jam. Before bringing up Lawrence, you ready, Radis?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here
Go,
we
go.
Killed it.
Oh,
All right.
That's
Oh, nice.
fantastic, Lauren.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
done, Lauren.
Some nice lineup. It's good.
Nice.
I like that you've brought that ball back into play that that you introduced us to earlier.
Yes, yeah,
Well,
it's a smart
Can
reference. there.
I ask what brush you used, Lauren? And is this in Clip Studio?
Oh God, what did I use?
You need to be ready. You need to know.
I was a very hard G pen user for a very long time and realized that there's a lot of stuff I can use. So this one's called Berry Creme Pencil. Berry Creme Pencil. Just a little bit rougher. A little bit rougher, a little bit more translucent. So, yeah. It's got a good taper on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very fun.
Yes.
Dating nice and quick. You've done fantastic once again.
Fantastic.
Okay, no one seems to have sent me anything anywhere else I can find.
You got me. You got my message.
I got yours. Yes, thank you very much. So I guess it's a case of picking on Mr. Dave Dye.
Let's blow it up.
It looks done.
His actually looks like it's from the cartoon.
Double up.
Yeah. Have you got a reference there, Dave? Or are you just rolling?
No, I used reference.
There you go.
Nah, it's just lies. Straight from just my memory. That was cool.
It's brilliant, Dave.
Love it. That grey bunny. That plain grey bunny.
Thanks very much.
Love it. If you'd like to purchase Dave Dye's artwork, message him.
So it's on eBay later, right?
Sizzle, did you do any Looney Tune drawing tonight?
I did not. I had planned to, but my day went south, or I don't know what it is. South? Is that the way you go? Anyway, it went in directions that made it so I had no time.
Sure. That's the way it goes. I didn't have time either, but I want to share one of my favorite images from the Looney Tunes world. It's from Space Jam. This is a rare moment when Wile E. Coyote actually gets to be proud about one of his actions. This is after he blows up one of the Monstars, and just that smug face, like, that's how I sleep at night. He got it done, guys. He figured it out once, and he felt great about it. So there's hope for all of us.
Was there a cartoon like that? Was there is that how they did the cartoon? Like, not like the way I've done it, like the way you just showed. Was it
the way that Alex didn't like? The characters had a certain glow about them, and
I don't like it.
Modeled in that. Yeah, it's definitely new style. That is fair dinkum what the cartoon was like that. Is that what you're saying?
Most
I
of the
think
time,
they had to do it because the rendering would have made them look like they were part of the scene. I don't think they could have done it flat.
Yeah, no, they did that.
They would have just
It's just to blend it in with the live action more. So they just did it.
Yeah.
And they also started doing that in Roger Rabbit. You see, it looks digital, but actually it's airbrushed. So I don't know how they did it then, because it's 96, and Roger Rabbit is Roger Rabbit's 89.
Insane.
Or like late 80s.
Yeah.
But in that movie, it looks just crazy how good that is, considering they use no computers in that.
Yeah, there's like a swinging lampshade in that film, and you can see all the shadow and airbrush on them. And very
I'm going to interrupt once again.
Please.
Yeah.
Talk more about Mel Blanc.
I want to hear it.
Cool.
A few more voices he did. He was Barney Rubble.
Cool.
Yeah.
He was Heathcliff.
Heathcliff. The other Garfield.
In Wuthering Heights.
Funny how Heathcliff is the budget Garfield, but he predates Garfield by 10 years, I think, right?
Yeah.
Get out of town. We don't want to hear about that. Looney Tunes night.
This is just like a less funny version of Garfield, if such a thing is possible.
Dude, Garfield died in 1990. Before that, he was funny.
Twiki, Captain Caveman.
I was a fan of that one.
Going on here. He was in everything, really. Classic. No, I'm not getting a good list here.
I will say that going back to Tassie Devil, the guy who does Winnie the Pooh's voice also does Tassie Devil.
Really?
No way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it a voice?
Yeah,
but the original one was done by Mel, wasn't it?
I got another one.
I don't know. I'll Google it. I'll
Let me
see.
have a look.
Gonna
Go,
want
Brad.
speed buggy.
Oh,
Oh,
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I've got a vague memory of Speed Buggy. Speed
I got a
Buggy.
vague
Jim
memory.
Cummings.
If only he'd done the voice for Eeyore and Tassie, then it would just be perfect because they're my two favorite characters from those two different places.
You don't
Okay.
know any Winnie the Pooh.
He did the voice of the Pink Panther in the Pink Panther TV show.
Oh, okay.
According to the Google here, it says Mel Blanc did the original voice of the Taz.
In Devil May Hair.
Oh.
Oh, we'll be fighting about this after the show.
But that I think
Educational.
You know,
He did Secret Squirrel.
I think
Secret Squirrel, I remember that.
Yep.
Of course you do, Dave.
Good
So
point,
Jim
Marty.
Cummings was only Tassie Devil in Space Jam.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
There we go. But he was also Ed from Lion King. There's Scar in number 2. He's Pete from Goofy, like the dad Pete. And he does heaps.
He's busy.
He's a busy boy.
Trust
and Tigger, obviously. He does Tigger as well.
Oh.
Good old
All right, so where are we at with the show as a thing and a thing that ends and has parts and stuff?
For the parts, we've missed a few. The little videos that we put up, but I think this would be the part where we dance. I'll let you pick the music and I will get the animation up.
All right.
We're actually going to dance.
Ready?
Oh,
Where we
yeah.
dance,
don't worry.
Oh,
I gotta get.
yeah.
Have you
Although
got some kind of metal music or?
Metal.
I don't think that's a choice.
we got it.
There you go.
This is a metal.
And we're back. And here we go.
Yeah,
Strawberry
we normally
Park.
had money there, but because Pepe Le Pew's in there, because Pepe Le Pew's in there, I'm like, I'll bring Ichigo back.
Nice.
That looks bigger than normal, mate.
Sorry?
Oh, look, it's a green
The
part
chest
and a
is bigger than
strawberry
normal.
part.
Her chest,
Yeah.
21.
Is that where we're going, Dave?
Save it for after the show, Dave.
Love it. Well done, Alex.
Dave, she hasn't been on.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
great,
there you
Alex.
go.
And I'll,
Very good, Alex.
Nathan, why are you dancing?
He was.
There we go.
I was impressed.
I'm dancing, bro. I'm covered up. You got covering
Good.
the
And
best
then we've
dancer
got-
in here.
Then we bring in the others. I remember this is what
Man.
Spencer does.
No Disney character.
Brad.
Yeah, cool.
Bro.
No, dude, I can't
Oh,
see them. They're so
great.
small. I don't know what I'm bringing up.
Oh,
Not what that was.
how'd you bring up that one?
I don't know what's happening there.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening most of Alex's animations.
Oh, look at that.
So like this one confuses me also.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure it
That
does.
one I get. That one I know exactly what's
I
going
did
on.
an insinuation here.
Yeah.
That was the Lord of the Rings. I
This
think.
one, that's a good one. That's just a tree. That's safe.
That's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but why does
Talking
Ichigo
about-
have an erection? I don't understand.
She doesn't. She has a finger and she's putting the ring on it.
Oh, it all falls apart without Spencer here. Which is weird because you'd think he would make it worse. So yeah.
You'd think. There you go.
Well, the music has stopped, so I'll stop there.
Yeah, I thought we reached a
They're all
limit with the word erection. I thought that was a good line.
Good
Does
place.
Nathan do the sign off that you guys practiced before?
Oh, we got a few more things to go before then, Alex. Is there anything that we need to know about ComX at the moment? Sizzle, any fantastic campaigns?
Well, Gods Amongst Men just finished their Kickstarter, so that'll just be worried about the people who supported it getting their stuff.
Excellent.
So that'll be happening soon. We've got Stellar Lands coming up soon. I'm not sure on the date, so I won't even guess the month. But it's coming soon, so maybe this month, maybe early next month. I don't know.
Lands look cool.
Oh, there's foes. You got your foes. Excellent.
Last photos arrived this week. Peter Wilson's fantastic foes. It was a beautiful purple cover, which was so So much fun. So you got to support ComX, guys. You got to help us out because we're making art for you directly.
Is the shop operating?
The shop will be up hopefully this weekend. I'm still fixing it. So
I've been in there a couple of times and it's been down. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been down. I've just got to I've got to put something in there to try to protect the site from that attack again. And all the things I've found to do it cost money, and I don't have a lot of money at the moment. So I'm trying to find a cheap way to protect myself. So yeah.
I can relate.
That sounded wrong, but we won't go there.
This is traditional animation, guys. This is how it's done. No.
That's the way you do it.
The squash and stretch on that was amazing.
Yeah, see? I learned something. Yeah?
You learned. Yeah.
Next, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back to draw Dick Tracy.
Yes.
A really good one.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I don't know if Nate just knows anything about Dick Tracy, but we'd love to have you back.
You're talking about this
sure
fella?
Nick Hayes got a lot to say. I'm sure Dave Dye's going to have a lot to say.
Oh,
That's the one.
that was not the Dick Tracy I was thinking of. Who drew that?
Just a girl.
What's his name?
Are we talking about Dick Tracy, the detective?
Chester Gould.
Yeah, with the yellow.
There's other Dick Tracys. Is there like another profession?
Yeah, I don't remember looking like that. I've never seen that artist though. That's all. I was like, well,
Invented Dick Tracy.
So,
anyway.
so the Dick Tracy you were thinking of, Nathan, what does he do? Is he like a real estate agent or?
Save it for after the show.
Yeah. We'll go there. Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're unhinged,
Someone-
Dave. Calm down.
The other things to. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, I was just going to go. The other things is we have other shows on the ComX channel. Next week we have the AusComX show. I can't remember who we're interviewing, but they've got a book out. That's all I can say.
Well,
and
so
that's on Wednesday night. That's every fortnight, that show, like this one. It's the alternate weeks. So Shaden has a bit of a, not too many shows in 1 week. Thursday, slowly but surely, me and Ed will be bringing back the Let's Draw a Comic Book with a brand spanking new character and a new direction in, I don't know if they'll be in a wasteland. Some sort of special we'll be doing where we get people to pick what it's all about and sort of put it together in an episode, and that'll be episode 0, and then we'll go from there. And then Friday nights, this show, and on the alternate weeks, we have ComX Recent Reads, where we talk about comics we've recently read. And then at the end, we give a recommendation from any time that we've read, and that has a couple of guests on for that as well. The guests can be creators. The guests can be shop owners. The guests can be someone from the audience who's put their hand up and say, hey, can I be on the show? So it's quite flexible with who we have. As long as you read comics, that's the main, requirement. So yeah,
I'm out.
that's. I hopefully haven't. Oh, and Chinwag. Sorry, God. Oh, Lee will kill me. And Chinwag on Tuesdays, and that currently is doing every Tuesday, just skipping a few here and there randomly. So that's a good one as well.
It's a good show. Last one was good. It was just
that was.
It was the Reverie episode, and they had 29 people in there as well.
Full house.
Yeah.
3 hours.
3 hours.
3.5.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Lots going on at the ComX network. I thought I'd end the show with a final thought, something a little bit different, given the theme and how much Looney Tunes mean to me. So I just thought I'd talk about how years ago there was a reboot of the Looney Tunes, and I had to check it out as a fan. But much like the sentiments tonight, some of the magic was gone, and I think the premise was something like Bugs and Daffy were trying to make rent, keep the girlfriend happy, and it didn't really work for me. And it's easy for us guys to look back and say it was different, and now it's changed, and now it's bad. But I think with reason, we can say that when something was simpler, it was a little bit better. When it was just as simple as this bird is going to get eaten by this dog, you got the premise of a great show. And those basic concepts were sort of like a wildlife documentary. It was dark, and it was fun. And in this cruel world, we like to remember sometimes that the mice does get eaten, and ducks do get shot. And sometimes skunks fall in love with cats, and that's okay with me. And I hope it's okay with everyone else. So,
beautiful.
Back to the show. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Quick. They call me Nicholas Cleary. These are my friends. We like to draw. That's all, folks. Thank you very much.
Peace out.
Nice.
Thank you.
See you all.
Later.
Like and subscribe to the channel.
Alfred, let's go shop.
ComX.shop.
Say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you next time.
Press the button.
Just press the button. See.